Alabama can finish off this drive with a game-winning score. Crimson Tide 20, Dogs 20. Alabama, chance to win it for the national championship. Tagovailoa fires to the end zone.
A truly memorable moment gains perspective from the others that came before.
And they are the national champions of college football.
Fueled by past triumphs.
Your BCS national champions, first national champions of the playoff era.
Heartbreaks.
That close to victory. And not a happy ending for Peyton Manning.
History.
Put him up there with the all-time greats.
This sport we love holds its heritage in the highest regard. But it never shies away from a bold leap. A new era of the college football playoff no longer waits in the wings. It has arrived. Its next moment, merging the tradition we know with the evolution we've only dreamt of. In a place where a moment can live forever. And set the stage for the next great moment to come.
Well, what a great way to get started. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tiffany Blackman, and I am a sideline reporter for CBS Sports. I cover college football, the NFL, college hoops, pretty much everything. And in addition to that, I am also co-host of The Morning Shift. It is a morning radio show right here in Atlanta on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. I can barely catch my breath with all that's been going on in my life and in the college football season. I'm sure you guys feel the same way about the season. And it's crazy to think that we are nearing the end. It's beginning to wind down. So there are some big games, though, that are coming up on our calendars as we get ready for Thanksgiving. Then we've got rivalry weekend and the conference championship games. So, and speaking of the calendar, well, there were only 60 days out from the 2025 College Football Playoff National Championship game, which is going to be played right here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. It's right around the corner, and we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. So this is more than just a game, as many of you all know, and there is no better example of that than the CFP Foundation. So let's take a look at some of the work that they do ahead of the game.
Please join me in celebrating teachers in our community by supporting the Georgia Teachers Initiative.
We are so excited about the opportunity to get more resources to Georgia's teachers.
Please join me in empowering teachers in our community by supporting the Georgia Teachers Initiative.
I'm just thrilled to be part of this amazing work and excited for the spotlight it brings on our state.
Join the Georgia teachers community at georgiateachersinitiative.org.
Some great work is being done. So to highlight that work, please join me in welcoming to the stage Executive Director of the College Football Playoff Foundation, Britton Benoski, 2024 Teacher of the Year and finalist for National Teacher of the Year, Christy Todd, King Middle School teacher and CFP Foundation Innovation Grant recipient, Nia Cannon, and Principal of Baggett Elementary, Mitch Green. Great to see you again. Great to see you. Well, I feel like, Britton, we go way back at this point. And when we spoke back in April at the College Football Playoff Georgia Teacher Initiative, it had reached 80 counties. Can you shed some light and provide us with an update on the work that has been done so far?
Sure. First, I'd like to say how blessed we are as a foundation to get the support of the CFP and to be connected to such an amazing organization that has such an amazing audience. Very few foundations in the country get to do that, and so we're just so blessed about that. And one of the things that's really cool is we get to come to cities like Atlanta and sit down with leadership and talk about what we want to do. And it seems like yesterday that we sat down with Dan and Diana, and they said, well, why don't we just make it statewide? And we'd never really thought statewide before. And I asked how many counties there were in the state, and they said 159. And we got the map out and we looked at it. And so sure enough, we've impacted a teacher in all 159 counties in the state of Georgia.
Just incredible work being done. And since the launch in May, the effort has reached more than 40,000 educators and invested more than $3 million in resources, grants, and programming activities. How has this effort been different than the one in 2018?
So 2018 was more focused on literacy and improving the literacy skills of the students by training the teachers to be better literacy instructors. And so we trained all the K through 5 educators here in the Atlanta Public Schools on this new method of teaching. In fact, I was with the superintendent of schools yesterday, who's a brand new superintendent, and he was shocked by the number of teachers that were trained on this literacy method. And then he said, "Was that you guys that did that 7 years ago?" And I said, "Yeah, that was us. That's what we did." So this time it's statewide. We have big goals. The $3 million is a big goal. Engaging with 1/3 of the teachers across the state, that's 40,000 teachers, is a big goal. And then, as we talked about, being able to impact a teacher in every county.
Well, we're joined by some very special educators on this stage with us who have benefited from the GTI efforts so far. And Mitch, you were the principal of Henderson Mill Elementary School when the game first came here back in 2018, and you saw the impact of the CFP Foundation then. They're back and extending their reach. Can you talk to us just a little bit about the impact that it's made on educators around here?
Absolutely, Tiffany. Thank you so much. And just thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's just wonderful to be able to be with such a great organization like the College Football Playoff Foundation. Back in 2018, it was actually through an organization called Atlanta Families Awards for Education that I came in contact with the College Football Playoff Foundation. They had invited a whole bunch of the recipients to a Georgia Tech football game, got us out on the field, and for an educator, you don't typically get a huge stadium of individuals to cheer for you, but that's what happened as a whole slew of us, educators who were recognized from around the state, had the opportunity to be on the field and to receive additional funds as well to support our efforts, specifically around literacy as well. So that was quite an honor. And then this year with the return, as you mentioned, I'm the principal at Baggett Elementary School. We are a school that is a Title I school, high minority population, and a high population of students who are in poverty. And for our community, it was really tremendous, the impact that the College Football Playoff Foundation has had this year. We were thankful enough and fortunate enough to be a recipient of a $50,000 makeover, and we applied that makeover to our media center. For me, it's something really special. This wasn't just an opportunity to bring new books or new shelving. We created a maker space in our media center for our students, and I'm happy to report, Britton, it's already seeing lots of use, tremendous use. For me, it's really personal, Tiffany. It really is. When I think about the fact that my own child, if he needs to access some great technology, all he needs to do is kind of walk across the street, or we have some at home because we have the means to do that. But I know that for my students at my school, they can't simply do that. That in order for us to provide that to them, we've got to provide it in our school. They have to have it there. And for me, it's super important that they have every opportunity that my own child would have. So we make it happen for them there. And honestly, we've got the vision, but often the funds aren't there to support that vision. With the lovely donation and hard work of the College Football Playoff Foundation, we are able to make that space a true reality for them. And I know that that will open doors for them in the future, right? It will allow them to engage in other future conversations and other future activities that will undoubtedly assure them the opportunity to make great things happen and be successful and help to break the cycle of poverty in my community. So that's really what we're after. And once again, just so thankful to be a part of this and to have our students truly benefit from that fabulous grant to our school.
Thank you for sharing that. It really is life-changing work that is being done. And every year, the College Football Playoff Foundation brings a teacher from across the country who is named Teacher of the Year for making a significant impact on their school, district, and their students. And Christy, you were named 2024 Teacher of the Year for Georgia. Can you tell us just what does that honor mean to you?
is truly an honor of a lifetime to be asked to represent the 120,000 hardworking teachers that we have here in the great state of Georgia. When I think of teachers, I think that teachers are the ultimate influencers. And it's because we change the future when teachers help students see their potential. And it's just so wonderful to have organizations like the College Football Playoff Foundation that wants to make sure that teachers feel supported and valued. And through the Georgia Teachers Initiative, in partnership with the Georgia Foundation for Public Education, you've been able to do that. And we're just so grateful for that opportunity here in the Peach State.
I know, I remember my teachers. I'm sure everybody watching at home or wherever you are and in this room can remember the teachers that really made an impact on their life. Nia, I know that you're one of those kind of teachers, and you were the CFP Foundation's Innovation Grant recipient for your esports project. Can you share with all of us what the goal of the esports project is and how the grant will help you achieve that goal?
Yes, thank you guys for having me here today. At King Middle School, I am the Instructional and Technology Specialist, so I have the role of teaching teachers how to use technology and enhancing student achievement. So I look through the lens of technology. So I have a group of kids who I give them that space of using, everyone can't be a football player or an athletic student. So you have that space of the technology realm where they can actually be who they want to be and be a team and actually have that space of their own like-minded individuals. So the grant I wrote for, I'm always looking for money for our school for the lens of technology so I can expand. So I have a group of about 12 students, but I want to expand because who doesn't want to play video games at school?
And Britton, you hear the impact that it's made on the students that these wonderful educators were just talking about. I know your team loves to hear that. And the CFP Foundation is also transforming 10 learning spaces and libraries across Atlanta. You've already completed 2 of them. What's been the reaction from the students so far?
Well, one of them was at Baggett, and it was amazing. You know, for me, it's my best day is when I can be on an elementary school campus and see the expressions on the faces of the kids as they get introduced to their new space and their technology, and see it all get lit up. And so that never gets old for me. And we're going to do, I think, a total of 13 actually here in the metro Atlanta area, and we've done about 85 of these nationally. So this is a program we're really excited to continue.
Mitch and Nia, if both of you can just touch on the importance of making educators just feel valued and celebrated, and does the overall effort help with teacher retention?
Okay. Also at my school, I am our campus-based mentor, so I am the teacher's biggest cheerleader. My space, I think of the teachers as my students, so whatever they need, if you need snacks, if you need just a place to, it's very calming in my room. I have teachers that come on free days where they actually come and actually play the video games too to decompress. So that space allows them to just come and be who they want to be. Retention, my role also is making sure they need anything. My principal, I'm that liaison between new teachers. If you are having a bad day, I'm like, hey, Gibbs, you might want to go check on so-and-so. So the grant will allow for that as well.
That's wonderful. And Mitch?
Perfect, yeah. So, if the goal truly is to have a best practicing educator at the front of every classroom or in every classroom, this really helps to do that because it helps to really elevate educators and education in general, right? It's super important that we get the best and the brightest to be pouring into our students every single day. And of course, no one goes into education for the money, as we say, right? But the recognition and the recognition from someone outside of the field of education is truly tremendous. It really makes a big impact. We all have files that have those thank you cards in them and the little notes that parents wrote or students wrote, former notes from former students who have gone into education as well that we have positively impacted. It's those special times that really make the huge difference and help to rejuvenate educators and for them to recognize that what they do has an impact. And the College Football Playoff Foundation coming to us and recognizing us, or recognizing individuals, recognizing individual teachers across the entire state, that brings so much joy to them. It reinforces the fact that they are doing great work and helps to bring them forward as well, and to ensure that the work that they're doing really does have a huge impact and a greater impact because of those foundation grants. It's lovely.
So important to recognize that. And the free 2025 Extra Yard for Teachers Summit will be in Atlanta the weekend of the National Championship game, with hundreds of teachers participating in workshops and networking with education professionals. So Christy, how important is it for the educators to have access to training and seminars and to have them become better teachers for their students?
So in the state of Georgia, we're very proud of one fact, and it's that for the last 11 years, we've been the #1 state to do business. And we think that for that to continue, we must also become the #1 state for teachers to teach. And to have a winning team, you have to practice, right? You got to get on the field and practice. And for teachers, practice is professional development. It's having the opportunity to work with colleagues to hone our craft. And that's why I'm so excited about the Teachers Summit that is happening the weekend of the big game, because we're going to have teachers from across our state and from across our nation that are coming together to really learn from each other. So I will be joined at this along with the other state teachers of the year from across our nation or our territories. Attendees will have the opportunity to hear from amazing presenters, have some good time as well, and even hear from our National Teacher of the Year and a dear friend, Missy Testerman. So you definitely, if you're a teacher and you're hearing about this, you don't want to miss it. You want to sign up for the summit, and we're just grateful for the opportunity to further our craft and the investment in teachers in our state.
We've all been lucky enough to hear just how the CFP Foundation is making an impact in teachers' lives, in their students' lives, but the public, like everyone wants to get involved, right? Britton, how can we do that? How can we support the local teachers?
Well, you can do it by going to the GeorgiaTeachersInitiative.org or CFPFoundation.org. But really, I mean, what I've learned in the last decade I've been doing this is teachers just need a pat on the back. They just need a Chick-fil-A sandwich or a cup of coffee. And, a great job, keep it up. And so everyone can do that. Everyone can recognize the value that the teachers are making in their own community with their own children or their grandchildren. And so just go out of your way to say thank you.
Britton, Christy, Nia, Mitch, thank you all for coming up here and joining us and just sharing the impact that the CFP Foundation has made.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the College Football Playoff Foundation. If you want to get involved and try to make an impact, you can go to cfpfoundation.org. You can also follow them on social at CFP Extra Yard. So please follow along the foundation as they continue to inspire and empower teachers, because they are doing some incredible work in the lives of our students. Please now help me in welcoming to the stage the new Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, Rich Clark, and President of the Atlanta Sports Council and the Atlanta Football Host Committee, Dan Corso. Hi, great to see you. Great to see you again. Lots to be excited about, and Rich, you were only a few months into your new role as the Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, but you spent a whole lot of time here in Atlanta and preparing for the national championship. Just what stands out about this city?
Well, I mean, first, Atlanta is experts at putting on big games and huge events, and I have to thank Dan and his team because they have been so good to us and just help shepherding us into this game. But the one big thing is you're the first city, Atlanta is the first city to get this game twice. And that's special because we come into this, the team has experience, they know exactly how to make this game special and spectacular, and that makes our jobs very easy, but also a lot of fun. So we appreciate that, but then there's so much more. Atlanta offers a richness in the city and the culture, the restaurants and everything around this city is just spectacular. And it's MLK Day. The game is on MLK Day, and what a better place to have the national championship on that day here in Atlanta. So just really an amazing city, open arms, great hospitality, but really incredible expertise in putting on big events like this.
So you mentioned twice, word on the street is Dan's trying to push for a third, I hear.
Repeat.
So, as Atlanta begins to prepare to host the national championship and the college football playoff and all that goes on with it, how do you all plan just to highlight the uniqueness of this city for visiting fans and teams?
Well, unique is a good word. Repeat's a good word, right? It's a huge honor for our city and our community to be the first repeat host city of this great event. I mean, every city in America would like to host this, but for the CFP to identify Atlanta as that city to be the first repeat's great. But repeat is not exactly the experience that we're looking for here in 60 days. Different might be a better word. So, you know, you take everything outside of this building beyond the competition, and it's just a full weekend of fan events. And so the idea is, okay, in 2018, you know, this event was here, this event was held here. Where could we potentially mix that up a little bit and put, you know, all the other great venues that we have to offer in this downtown area as host venues for those great fan events? And so if you take, for example, I know we're going to announce today that the great lineup for Playoff Playlist Live, but now that's moving inside State Farm Arena, which is one of the most incredible concert venues, you know, in the country. Champ Tailgate, which is the game day fan tailgating before they come into this building for the game, is held just outside in Home Depot backyard. That was not the case back in 2018. And then even if you look at just the impact on the event, and I think the panel before with Britton and Christy and Nia and Mitch was really, I think, a great illustration is just how incredible these events are on cities and why cities want to host them. It's not just about the tourism value and the media exposure and the broadcast and the economic impact. It's about the community impact and the legacy. And to hear their stories of how this event is impacting them, I think is an incredible example of just how great these events are on cities. And so the difference, as Britton mentioned earlier, in 18, it was kind of citywide, Metro Atlanta-wide. Now we've gone statewide with that impact. So again, another point of difference of, you know, 2018 was fantastic, but how do we mix it up a little bit and how do we do it differently in 2025?
How do you anticipate then this event further solidifying Atlanta as being the premier destination for major sporting events?
Yeah, it's got a pretty good reputation right now, and that's really in large part to the building that we're in. And the building that we're in, which is surrounded by the great fan events and venues that I've talked about in the area, surrounded by, you know, 14,000 hotel rooms that are all walkable. So we've got this incredible footprint that's condensed and user-friendly and walkable. So the experience is great for event owners like Rich and his team, for the attending media, for the participating teams, for the sponsors that come in, and for the visitors. But having this event come back and naming Atlanta, you know, the first repeat city, as we've said, is a great honor, and it's just a long list of events that we've got coming, you know, with World Cup in 26, another Super Bowl in 28, a men's Final Four in 2031, and other events to be announced at a later time. It's incredible, and yeah, look, let's just put it out there. We'd like to be the first city to three-peat, so Rich, if you will, we got a lot of good people in this room that can help make that happen, so if you want to have that conversation, happy to do it.
I think I heard you mention that before.
A couple times.
We got it, though, but that's great.
See, now you're really on the hot seat because the next question, so I hope you're ready. With the CFP playoff rankings being so crucial in determining which teams will compete for the national title, can you shed some light into the work of the selection committee and how the season is shaping up on the field?
Well, the selection committee has a tough job because college football this season has just been incredible. I'd like to say that it's because of the 12-team format, but all I do know is, regardless of the reason, it has been an amazing season. And we've seen a lot of teams where the margins are pretty tight. You can look at any game, and on any given Saturday, a team that you never thought would win comes out ahead. And so our selection committee has been meeting. We're going to have our 4th meeting next week. And every week, these 13 people that were handpicked Some of them are athletic directors, some are coaches, former players, journalists even. They come into the room, they watch a number of games. Some of them watch 25 games, especially the coaches. You know, coaches get into that. They're in it deep. But they watch these games and they study the teams that are playing, and they really do what we call the eye test. They want to know just what are these teams made of? How good are they really? And then they come into the room and they look at so much data. They look at different statistics like strength of schedule, statistics like relative offense, relative defense. And then when the teams get on the margins, they're really comparing details like what were their performances against common opponents, not just each other, but common opponents, head-to-head competitions. But all these things come into play because the margins are so small. But in the end, their job is to rank the 25 best teams in the country. And they do that every week. They start with a clean slate. They go in the room. They have very intense discussions, all collegial, all cordial, but they put it on the table so that they can really understand how each other views these games, because they all look at it with a different lens. And in the end, they come out with a ranking of 25 best teams in the country, and that is a hard job. But they do it for us every week, and then the last week after the conference championships, they'll give us a final ranking, they'll seed the teams, and then we'll see our bracket for the national championship playoff.
And right now, every Tuesday night, we're all gathered around just trying to wait to see where your team is going to end up in the college football playoff rankings. We got them up for you now, and I'll just run through the top. You've got Oregon, you've got Ohio State at 2, Texas at 3, Penn State at 4. So I'll ask you again now, Rich, what are the key criteria or metrics that the committee prioritizes when making these selections, and how do you see this evolving as we move forward and expand the format, in the future?
Sure. Yeah, the metrics, and I did mention some of them, but I mean, obviously wins and losses matter. I mean, who wins the game and who doesn't. But even among wins and losses, they look at what kind of win was it? Because sometimes it may be a blowout, or maybe it was just by a couple of points, and the same with losses. They look at other statistics of the teams and what they did during the games that they have. But the most important thing they really do is they bring the art of that eye test. They bring their expertise, what they see in those games, and they bring that to bear so that they can really get a good ranking on these teams. I think it's about a 60% art and 40% science, because it's not just data, it's really what do you see in those teams, and what can you help shed light on to the other committee members to really get that ranking right. So it's a tough job, though, because you look at these the teams that are laid out in the top 25, and there's a lot of them that are really close and hard to say who's the best, but our committee does a good job and they're up to the task.
You've either made some people feel really, really good about where their team's at, or some people are probably feeling not so good. But it's going to be great to see how this all plays out at the end of the season. In April, we announced the full lineup of fan events that will be open to the public, which will allow fans to participate in the CFP National Championship, even if they don't have a ticket. So that's really exciting. You can always feel involved if you don't. And this goes from Playoff Fan Central, a free 3-day family-friendly event at the Georgia World Congress Center. Then there's Media Day, which will give fans an opportunity to see their favorite players, coaches, and media personalities as they prepare for the national championship. And then there is this, a taste of the championship and the Trophy Trot 5K and 10K. Both support the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers platform. Rich, can fans be involved in the CFP National Championship even without a ticket, as I just explained? And it's important, though, for them to get involved. What does it do for the community?
Well, the game is the main event, but it is here in an amazing city. And when we come here, we want to leave an impression on the city of Atlanta that the college football playoff is coming for the good of this entire community. And everyone in the community can't go to the game, but they can all have a touch point. They can all do something. And you just named a bunch of different events that people can be involved in, but we want to leave a good impression that the whole community was involved, because it is an Atlanta event. In fact, when you talk about the foundation, it's impacting the entire state of Georgia. And we want to leave a good impact, we want to leave a good impression, and then we want to play an amazing football game and let America see just how great Atlanta is and how well it supports this playoff. But I really believe that if people can come and just have a touch point and then go home and watch the game on TV, they're going to be, I think, more engaged and involved in what's going on in this great city, and that's what we want to see.
It really is a great city. And Dan, you know that very well. You experienced the 2018 CFP National Championship. What kind of energy do these events, do they bring to the city of Atlanta?
So, well, you know, Atlanta in college football kind of creates its own energy, right? Kind of known for that here. But, you know, you start here, and no facility, no stadium can do college football better than MBS with the fan experience and the game presentation. And then, you know, I spoke about it earlier, the compact kind of fan entertainment area is all within walking distance. I think the farthest venue you just referenced on those events is the Georgia Aquarium. So that's just right down the street. So you've got this natural energy and buzz that's happening because everything is compact, right? And so I think that combination combined with you know, college football, and then if you even from today until January 20th, you've got the SEC Football Championship coming, Celebration Bowl coming. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is a quarterfinal this year on January 1st, and then, of course, it culminates with the championship game on January 20th. So it's just, you know, it's a great road, and really can't wait for it to get here.
Atlanta's the place to be. And speaking of just the energy that CFP that it brings here, there will be no shortage of music to entertain fans throughout the weekend. On Saturday and Sunday night, it's the AT&T Playoff Playlist Live that will serve as the soundtrack for the CFP National Championship at State Farm Arena. This year, these concerts will be ticketed events inside State Farm Arena, and we are pleased to announce the musical artists who will be performing. So let's take a look.
The first chapter of a new era in the history of the college football playoff comes to a close in January 2025. Atlanta will once again host the nation's top teams in college football to decide who will take home the ultimate prize, the coveted National Championship Trophy. In addition to the amazing performances on the field, the festivities leading up to the game will be just as epic. Help us kick off Championship Weekend, January 18th and 19th at State Farm Arena, as some of today's brightest stars in music come to shine at AT&T Playoff Playlist Live. The ATL heats up on Saturday night as we welcome to the stage Grammy nominee Glorilla.
Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks gon' keep it solid. Everything I got on new, it look like I got renovated. I'm cocky, when I was just humble, they didn't appreciate it. Young, wealthy, and ratchet, I'm the hood motivation. On top of the world now, they tried to underestimate it.
And the night concludes with a rap icon taking the stage. This 5-time Grammy winner has redefined music with his groundbreaking lyrics and revolutionary mixtapes. He's a living legend in hip-hop and beyond. Lil Wayne.
Mac, I'm gone I'm millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair. My criteria compared to your career just isn't.
On Sunday, the celebration continues as we welcome a breakout artist whose sold-out tour is making waves in the music industry. Knox.
She said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. No lies, that's quite the compliment, but I'm not really looking for somebody tonight.
Next up on Sunday night, a captivating singer-songwriter who's scaling the charts worldwide. Stargazing hitmaker Miles Smith.
Take my heart, don't break it. Love me to my bones. All this time I wasted. You were right there all along.
And to close out the evening, multi-platinum and Grammy-nominated Latina powerhouse Camila Cabello. For ticket information on AT&T Playoff Playlist Live, please visit collegefootballplayoff.com. And come join us as we welcome the brightest stars to help celebrate college football's biggest weekend.
Let me know who I need to call Dan just to, make that happen. Maybe it's you. Tickets to Playoff Playlist Live will go on sale at State Farm Arena box office and through Ticketmaster. But the music does not stop there. On game day, ticket holders to Mercedes-Benz Stadium will see the Capital One stage at All-State Championship Tailgate come to life, and we are excited to announce who will be bringing the energy ahead of kickoff.
Downtown Atlanta is sure to be hopping on the day of the 2025 National Championship game. Join us outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium for some pregame excitement at All-State Championship Tailgate. On the Capital One music stage, fans will welcome a rising star in country music and iHeart Country On the Verge artist, Ashley Cook.
I was always 1 foot out the door. I never thought about turning around. Never saw myself with a white picket fence dug into the ground. Never tell now.
And as the final pregame treat, join us for multi-platinum and award-winning singer-songwriter, global superstar, Kane Brown.
Like a California king, we could break it in if you know what I mean. Put some miles on it, back of the Chevy with the engine running. Just you and me in a truck bed wide like a California.
For information on the exciting championship campus events of college football's biggest weekend, visit collegefootballplayoff.com. Join us for all the festivities as we crown the champion of college football for 2025.
No breaks, I'll tell, no gate, ain't gotta try too hard.
So a lot to be excited about. All of these amazing events will lead up to an epic showdown at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Monday night, and there we will crown a champion. So thank you so much, Rich and Dan, for joining me up here today and shedding some light on all that's going to be leading up to the big game.
Thank you, Tiffany, and thanks, Atlanta. This is going to be awesome.
So excited. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. All speakers will be available to interview to stage right by the CFP National Championship Trophy. And please follow the fun. Join the College Football Playoff and the CFP Foundation on social media at CFB Playoff and at CFP Extra Yard. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all in January.